The State Department revoked the green cards of two relatives of deceased Iranian General Qasem Soleimani after they had been living a lavish life in Los Angeles for years. The pair are now in ICE custody, awaiting deportation. They've been accused of pushing Iranian propaganda and calling America the Great Satan. But GOP lawmakers are warning that there could be thousands of more dangerous people inside our country.
There are thousands of needles, tens of thousands of needles, people who are dangerous, people who didn't come here for the right reason, people who, in fact, have been planted here. And that doesn't even include this technique that the Chinese have been using to plant 100,000 plus future Chinese spies through birthright here.
But Democrats are still refusing to fund ICE.
We have proposed funding everything except ICE and CBP. We have a wind at our back because the American public is with us on the reforms we're seeking.
I also don't think that masks and guns mix very well, and I also think you need a warrant if you're going to walk into someone's house. The president's paramilitary has been a failure.
Senator Raphael Warnock even went so far as to evoke his pastor bona fides to condemn President Trump and ICE on Easter Sunday.
His kind of unabashed, unvarnished bigotry, the cruelty that he is unleashing on American streets through his version of ICE, those things have to be condemned. And so for me, prayer and prophetic speech, which holds power accountable, those two things go hand in hand. I am not about to be the chaplain blessing that which is ungodly and unjust.
Oh, boy. I'm not even going to ask you about that clip. That was nauseating. But, Tommy, do you feel bad for these Iranians who are living the high life in Los Angeles?
I certainly do not. ICE doing some great work. Not only are they helping with TSA lines, they're also doing their main mission, which is to remove public safety threats like these individuals here. And if you look at some of the photos here, I guess alleged social media photos of these relatives, it's really quite something. It's like looking at a Kardashian, not somebody who, maybe should be laying low. I would think, if you're in this country and you're a Soleimani, maybe you lay low.
We didn't give them SEER training.
Yeah, they were not laying low. They looked like they were living up the high life, posting some very interesting social media photos that I don't think would go over well in Iran. I don't think women could pose like that or look like that. But I hope they enjoyed Los Angeles for the time being. Didn't last long, so enjoy your new home.
But why were they rich? Why were they so confident, posting on social media, living like the Kardashians? The reason they were so confident is it never occurred to them because this kind of thing has never been challenged before.
Yeah, and you look at what the Department of Homeland Security is doing here as well. First off, they have the family relationship, which already meant that probably the government was looking into what they were doing here. But secondly, and this is something that this administration has really gone after, that if you come to the United States and you declare or you ask for asylum. In other words, the conditions in your home country that you're being persecuted there and that you need refugee status or asylum status here in the United States, they went back, or she went back to Iran 4 times. And this isn't the only thing that the Department of Homeland Security, according to DHS, is looking for. There are other people who don't have this familial ties to, generals in countries and things like that, who come to the United States, say, I need asylum in the United States because the conditions in my country, I can't live there. But then they go back to their home country repeatedly. And that's something that officials at DHS are also. So there's a number of different reasons why ICE and DHS were looking at her specifically.
And then Darrell Issa was saying the idea that this is it's taken advantage of, not even on the asylum front, Lisa, but the idea that they're sending people to give birth, anchor babies.
Of course.
By the thousands in China, so they can come back later on as Chinese spies.
Well, yeah, we had a whole election in 2024 focused on illegal immigration, but we should be focused on legal immigration, too. How the heck did these people get green cards, relatives of a terrorist? And to Rich's point, if they were able to get green cards, relatives of a terrorist, who else has gotten green cards in the country, right? Who is here living here legally who might not even be associated with terrorists overseas, but who hold these similar beliefs? Because if you look at these two individuals, particularly the mom, Ashfar, so she had celebrated attacks on U.S. soldiers and military facilities. She had praised Iran's supreme leader, called America the Great Satan, had voiced support for the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps. To Rich's point, trips to Iran also had flagged the interests of the United States as well. And then to your point, Tommy, how this would go over in Iran, we've seen young women, because of the morality laws there, been beaten to death for not wearing a hijab, or even just not wearing it improperly. And then you have the daughter here, 25 years old, posing like a hooker, even for United States standards, let alone Iran. She would be probably murdered, she'd be beaten to death, she would most certainly be jailed if she even attempted to dare dress like that, or even not wearing a hijab. So just like the hypocrisy is astounding, but I think the bottom line, and the most importantly, is we really need to take a hard look at our legal immigration system in the United States and who the heck we're allowing to come into here. You know?
How about asylum? How about that? You know, the idea is anyone talking about that? I assume President Trump has an opinion on that, but we still offer asylum. Should we? This isn't, this isn't after World War II. This is a different era. Do we still need to be offering asylum to people? Are there other places these people can go?
Well, you're asking the wrong person. You probably already know my answer.
Yeah.
My stance on it is we're full. But I would also say this. Every time President Trump tries to crack down on this, we have an activist judge that stands in his way, basically saying you can import millions and millions of people here in an open border under auto pen Joe Biden, and then there's no way to get them out because they make it impossible to get these people out. And Lisa, to your earlier point about who we've got here and the green card holders and the legal residents, right? What happens to you? Well, I think you get invited to Gracie Mansion to share a meal with Mamdani. I think that's been well documented with Mahmoud Khalil. So that answers your question.
Right after the bombing attempt.
Right after.
To your point.
So no shame.
Yep.
No shame.
Good point.
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube, and catch full shows streaming now on Fox One.